And then when I became the director as a sole director of camp, that's when I went to first offenders, blue and white collar crime, and then because I felt that there had to be a challenge, I went to the sex offender program, a full sex offender program.
Right.
And the reason for that is that I just felt that there was a need for us to be able to set a program for specific needs, because the government was very fortunate, very good to us. We give us all the help we need with psychological and psychiatric help and so forth, and most of them were given a 2-year sentence, 2 years less day sentence.
So the Stave Lake camp, which started as a logging type of a camp to clear Stave Lake.
It was prepared originally for a 2,400 acre development of our park, and that was how it started to develop, to clean it up. But we then, because we were working with BC Hydro and with the forestry, it was to be more sophisticated on not only the work program but also the treatment program. Mm-hmm. And so, in order to satisfy the commissioner and the attorney general in what we were doing, to justify what was happening, we had to change to many other things. It started with logging, and we just cleared up the 2,400 acres. And the purpose was then, as we developed, how do we work with ministries? And like we cut the trees down and floated them up into camp, and we cut 2,000 cords of firewood each year for all the parks from Vancouver to Hope.
Wow.
And we received $20 a cord, and that paid for all our saws and wedges and that and so forth.
Was that wood from the bottom of the lake?
Yeah, all the wood for the lake, and you have some of the pictures there you'll see later.
Mm-hmm.
But that's on the bottom of the lake, and that was a real good program, a very good work program. We were working at that time 6 days a week.
Well, how many inmates or trainees?
70. And then from there we took and broke it up into there. It got to be that we have the fisheries. We then started a fish hatchery in the bottom of Cedar Lake, and we had hatchery for chum, coho, and springs. And so that was we took another 8 inmates to run that, and then we took and had 20 net pens up on top for the BC fisheries. That these other fisheries for the federal fisheries had to do with hatcheries, and that was at the bottom of Cedar Lake. The 20 pens were the fisheries of BC fisheries, and they raised 400,000 trout a year on Cedar Lake.
Are there any markers or signs that it was successful or not successful?
I can't give any markers, but I can tell you the resources that the people I meet in community who are sex offenders, or were sex offenders, or still are, I guess. But the thing is, they've served their sentence, and they're citizens in the community, and that's the only marker I have that they're done very well.
So you've met some of your former
lots of
inmates, really?
Yes, it was through M2, and we had the M2, which is a man-to-man with people from churches. We had 19 man-to-man volunteers working with these individuals, and they start with them at month 1 and right till 16th month. And
they were paroled?
No, not even paroled. At the end of the month, that was the end of the sentence. Very few paroles came out of there because it was a time for the sentence, and then at the end of the sentence, these people would take and look after them after the sentence, either take them in their homes, get them jobs, etc.
Really?
Yeah.
As a volunteer, both sides, both the volunteer supervisor, or the sponsor, if you like, and the inmate too, could choose or not choose to accept that.
Well, they did accept it because that was the alternative. Because we allowed nobody to go to church. We allowed no work releases out of there, or no temporary absence leaves out of there at all.
Unless you were accompanied by?
No, not even. Well, yes, maybe with a company, but the thing is, we did not want to do that because we had a responsibility to the community, to the public, that they stay and do their time, and our job is to get them better.
So the M2 program was a big plus for a number of people afterwards.
Well, you see, we could do the security and we could do the work, but these people helped these people. It was unbelievable. I've had probably the luckiest of all. I had Boulder Bay, and then I had Stave, and
great support. Just one more word about the M2 program. What was the organization behind M2?
It's a man-to-man, started in the States, and it's an American organization that takes that. Man-to-man is, in other words, inmate to volunteer, and there's a philosophy and a groundwork to be able to take and work with that, and you stay with them.
Right. It wasn't a specific church group or
No.
just a community group.
We had-
Call them too.
We had the Baptist, Mennonites, Alliance, all these different church groups, and some weren't even church members.
Right.
It was the people that wanted to help people, so.